Hey Bears fans, what if the move that flips the NFC North Arms race is happening right now, behind blinds half drawn and a speakerphone whispering just low enough that the name never leaks? What if the piece that unlocks 3rd and 7 in December isn't a headline receiver or a splashy corner, but a violent interior disruptor who detonates pockets from the inside out and forces quarterbacks to pull the ball down and blink? And what if that force comes from right across the border, from a rival sure their secret is safe, until Chicago reaches in and grabs it? You feel that hum? That certainty in your shoulders that the building has a plan? Halas Hall has felt what one trench bully can do on a cold Sunday, the way a single interior surge erases a coordinator's best script and shreds timing. These whispers aren't about fantasy names. They're about leverage, angles, pad level, and a first step that snaps like a rubber band. This is adult football. This is January football built in September. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where we break noise into signal and only talk about what changes games. If you care about pass rush lanes, contract structure, culture fit, and the truth behind mutual interest leaks, you're home. Tonight we're on a potential move that could steal oxygen from a divisional opponent and pump it straight into Chicago's defensive interior. We'll hit the why, the how, the money, the timeline, the medicals, and the tells you can track this week. Why first? Chicago's identity, when it's real, isn't gimmick ball. It's knife-edge defense from the A-gaps out, collapse pocket. Depth before the edge even has time to arc and turnovers follow. You want shorter fields for Caleb Williams and a young receivers room to play downhill? Squeeze the life out of 2nd and 3rd down with interior penetration that wrecks sequencing. That's the thesis. Profile next. Not a space-eating statue. Not a flashy sprinter with no anchor. The target is a twitchy interior disruptor. A natural 3 tech with get-off to split doubles in length to finish on the upfield shoulder. Violent hands reset the line, live on the guard's edge. Best reps already on tape against real NFL guards in real leverage moments. And yes, a market you can reach because the career hasn't been a clean straight line. The league loves tidy stories. Value lives in messy ones. Now the chessboard. A move like this doesn't just add a player, it siphons confidence from a rival. Imagine walking into their stadium, and the guy who used to be theirs is detonating protections in your colors. Their sideline sorting pass-off rules, while ours is already calling the next stunt. That's not cap numbers, that's psychology, and psychology wins games when talent gaps are thin. Our plan of attack is simple and complete. First, the scheme fit, how this player plugs into Chicago's base front, and the sub-packages that matter on money downs. Then realistic contract frameworks, a low-risk 1-year prove-it with escalators, or a modest 2-year with playtime triggers. We'll touch medicals and ramp up because nothing matters if snaps aren't available in December. We'll set a timeline grounded in the trade window and in-season churn. Finally, the tells. Social follows that matter, beat reporter language that shifts, practice squad elevations that hint a room is being prepped. Cap reality. The Bears can do this without blinking. You don't need to splash guarantees. You structure smartly. Low base, per-game active bonuses, sack, pressure escalators, post-season triggers, tuck void years if you need cushion. Fit it without touching core extensions. There's flexibility in the middle of the roster, especially if the staff believes this flips 3rd down efficiency. Money follows belief. Here's what I'm hearing in archetype terms, not gossip. The profile that moves fast is the one coaches across the division nod at the second you say the name. They know the burst. They circled it on scouting reports. They told guards all week, hands inside, eyes right, and still lost to the same move. That creates internal consensus. When consensus forms, phones ring. When phones ring, opportunities accelerate. No one confirms until someone does. Usage He wouldn't carry 55 snaps on day one. He'd be deployed surgically. NASCAR fronts on third down, penetrator on TE stunts, spike calls to set the table for the closer on the edge. Think 25-30 snaps early, ramping by response. Live in the B-gap on passing downs, knife inside zone. On early downs, just enough to plant doubt in OC brains. He doesn't replace jobs. He makes the whole group louder, more sudden, more hateful to block. So who checks the boxes? The twitch, the length, the violence, the value, and the divisional jolt? Who's the name a practice squad guard swallows hard over on a Wednesday? When the scout team card comes out, you've been patient. Here it is. Levi Onwuzurike. That's the rumor echoing through back channels, a potential Chicago look at a divisional disruptor with a first step that still scares guards and a career. Arc that screams, buy low, coach hard, reap January. Former's second-round pedigree, interior juice, flashes on tape, and a path to be more in our system than he's been asked to be elsewhere. When he's right, the suddenness is real. Hips through, hands in, shoulder turned, guard chasing shadows. He doesn't need perfect, he needs timely. Pair that with this staff's emphasis on get off and games up front, and the dots connect. History? Honest. Onwuzurike's road hasn't been smooth. Early promise, health setbacks that stalled the runway, rotational usage where box scores never show how quickly he wins the first half second. That's why his market could be reachable. Smart organizations hunt real traits at a cost that respects risk. Medicals matter. Payoff matters more. You can't coach that initial twitch. You can protect it, manage it, and weaponize it. Scheme fit in Chicago's even fronts. Levi as natural 3-tech penetrator. On early downs, angle him to disrupt zone and make back stutter behind the mesh. On passing downs, he's your arrowhead. Run TE games with him crashing B to spike the guard, then wrap your end to the inside shoulder of the tackle. If they slide to him, you single your closer high side. If they don't, he's in the quarterback's ear. Get mean with simulated pressure. Let Levi trigger the slide, peel coverage behind it. That's sequencing, rotation reality. Build a pitch count, stack healthy Wednesdays and Thursdays, read the GPS and soreness reports, tailor, burst to money. Downs. 25 explosive snaps, 40 tired ones. In December, when legs are heavy, a fresh interior spark turns drives into punts and punts into points for Caleb. That's complementary football that turns a growing offense into a winning team. Shorter fields, fewer plays, momentum that feels like gravity. Money talk, our way. A one-year prove-it with modest base, per-game actives, playoff escalators, maxing out at a number that rewards impact without harming future flexibility. If it's 2 years, a small year 1 guarantee, a March vesting date for year 2, and incentives tied to snaps and team defensive ranks. No handcuffs, no funny business. If a trade is required, intra-division carries a tax, so you leverage conditional late capital or wait out the market. Discipline. Obstacles? Plenty. Divisional pride is real. Their front office has to swallow helping Chicago. Cost creeps. Medical sign-offs matter. The sports performance staff won't rubber stamp. And you need alignment. Scouts who love the tape. Coaches who see the role, a locker room ready to absorb a new voice without wobble. This room can do that. Culture here is effort, finish, accountability. A player who buys in gets welcomed fast. One who doesn't won't last a week. Offense impact. Everything helps the quarterback. Caleb Williams doesn't just need weapons. He needs possessions where the opposing QB is hurried, where time of possession tilts, where field position isn't a climb. Pressure creates takeaways. Takeaways are rocket fuel. The timing with young wideouts, the rhythm in the ground game, everything. Looks better when your defense hands you a short field. And for those dreaming of a big-name WR later, interior disruption now only amplifies any future splash. The tells to watch. Beat reporter language around competition and internal evaluation in the interior room, transaction wire breadcrumbs, elevations of a practice squad DT as a timing bridge, coaches emphasizing penetration versus stoutness in midweek pressers. If national reporters start saying due diligence and monitoring, exploratory calls happened. None of that guarantees a move, but it frames probability. Medical's grown-up version. The right plan is a string of supported weeks, ramp conditioning, roll specificity, then build. Keep the snap-to-explosion ratio high by scripting his rushes. Early third downs, 2-minute key red zone third and mediums, where his first step is a weapon and his pitch count stays healthy. The best version is December Levi. Explosive because the plan was patient, rival feelings. They won't do you favors, especially via trade. You can wait. In-season churn creates windows. Injuries open roster spots. Clubs make math decisions. After a tough stretch, agents push for fresh starts. Player desire matters too. Guys want to be featured. Chicago's sales pitch is honest. We will feature your get-off, protect your body with a plan, and reward production. That's a pathway, not smoke. Back to ball. Tape truth. When Levi is healthy and the cadence is right, guards cheat because they fear the foot fire. That opens counters. Long arm to forklift the chest, inside swim when the guard oversets, step through. To attack the inside knee. Those are building block moves that fit how Chicago wants to rush from even fronts. Tilt him toward the B gap in under fronts on early downs, and you start stealing first down efficiency. It's not just sacks, it's schedule theft. Locker room chemistry. This team deliberately adds guys who mirror the standard. Finish to the whistle. No excuses on Wednesday's pros in the meeting room. By all accounts, Levi is wired to compete and won't duck hard days. Put that in a room with tone-setting vets and meetings sharpen. Competition is culture. Win the first half-second in practice, and everyone gets better. It shows up on Sundays. Plan of attack, condensed. Map the roll first, then the price. The EA roll is a penetrating 3-tech who keys money downs, stresses protections with movement. The price should reflect risk, not hope. 1 year prove it, with per-game actives and playoff triggers, or a 2-year light structure that vests only if snaps and production hit. Medical review rides shotgun with coaching conviction, and both. Feed the timeline, calls action when leverage peaks, rotation and health condensed, start with 25-30 snaps, feature third downs, 2-minute, and red zone mediums. Keep the pop high by scripting rushes and guarding against dead legs. Data guides the ramp. If the response is clean, expand the roll. If not, protect the burst. The goal is December juice, not September headlines. Offense impact condensed more. Pressures become more takeaways. More takeaways become shorter fields. Shorter fields become points for Caleb Williams and a young WR room finding rhythm. Interior chaos multiplies value across the roster and makes any future skill addition immediately more efficient. Market and timeline condensed. The divisional tax is real, but patience changes price. Injuries elsewhere, a rough stretch, or a depth squeeze can open doors. Use conditional late picks, not premium capital. Keep a cap slot warm. Run medical diligence and have language pre-drafted so the yes can become a signature before the window closes. My stance condensed. If the neck-down checks pass and the number is sane, pursue Levi Onwuzurike. Structure. Clean, avoid sunk cost traps, and let the tape dictate usage. If the door stays shut, walk away with your picks intact. If it opens, move decisively. That's how you stay disciplined and still swing for a ceiling that wins in wind and cold.